Hello, this is James from the Action Lab. Can you hear me?
What if I told you that you could listen to and record sound without a microphone, using nothing but a laser and a window? In this video, I'm going to see if I can make a Cold War era spy device that actually works. Now, the coolest thing about lasers is that they bring us closer than almost anything else to seeing how tiny angle changes get amplified by distance. Over 2,000 years ago, Archimedes famously said, "Give me a lever long enough and I'll move the earth." For example, if you have a rod placed unevenly over a fulcrum and make a small displacement on the short end, it gets amplified into a huge displacement on the other end. The problem with scaling this up, though, is inertia. If you just hit the small end really hard and try to move it really fast, the rod will break. It won't send the other end flying at supersonic speeds. But what if you had a rod with no mass and no inertia? For a long time, we didn't have anything like that. But then in the 1960s, lasers were invented. Lasers don't spread out like normal light. They're collimated, so even though they do spread slightly, it's so small that they behave almost like a massless rod. That's what makes them so fun to play with. A tiny change in position at one end of the laser creates a huge change at the other end. And the further away you are, the bigger that change becomes. For example, if I reflect the laser off a mirror that's vibrating slightly and then look at that reflection on the wall, I can't see the vibration on the mirror at all. But I can easily see it on the wall because the motion gets amplified. And remember that sound is just vibrations as well. When I talk, I'm compressing and rarefying the air in longitudinal waves that spread outward from me. When those waves hit objects, they cause them to vibrate as well. For example, if you talk near a window, that window is actually vibrating slightly from the sound of your voice. So technically, if we reflect a laser off of that window, that laser light should be vibrating at exactly the same frequencies as the original sound. But sound vibrations are tiny. So even with the amplification, we need to detect very tiny changes in light intensity. So for that, we can use a photodiode. When light hits a photodiode, it creates a small voltage across its electrodes. You can see that when I shine light on it, the voltage goes up. Now we just need to convert this into actual sound. Well, converting an oscillating voltage into sound is something we already do all the time with microphones. A microphone uses a diaphragm that wiggles near a coil, creating a voltage change, and we turn that back into sound with a speaker that does the same thing in reverse. So all I really need to do is replace the microphone with a photodiode, and we should be able to hear the light. So I literally just broke off the microphone from this circuit here and soldered on the photodiode and a power and audio cable to it. This circuit setup is actually from another video from a channel called SomethingAboutScience that shows how to make it, but he never tested it on a real window. So I wanted to make it and see if it would work on a modern window with two sealed panes of glass and a vacuum space in between. But before we continue, we all know that AI isn't some future thing anymore. It's already changing how work gets done. What used to be an advantage is quickly becoming the baseline. That's why I want to tell you about the sponsor for this video, Outskill. Outskill is the first ever AI-focused educational platform to accelerate AI learning for people like you and me. They're hosting a 2-day AI Mastermind training live next Saturday and Sunday, which is the 14th and 15th of February. And right now is the perfect time to join because you can get in absolutely free for the next 48 hours. This 16-hour AI training has already built over 10 million AI-first professionals worldwide and is rated 4.9 out of 5 on Trustpilot. So whether you're from marketing, finance, operations, product, or engineering, you'll benefit from this training. You'll learn how to build AI agents that plan, write, execute, and report for you. You'll learn how to automate workflows that run even while you sleep. You can connect tools like Sheets, Notion, CRMs, and email to create profitable systems and even use AI to save hours every week and get advantage at work. People from this very training have launched AI-powered services that bring in an extra $3,000 to $4,000 weekly. To kickstart your year, you also get premium lifetime bonuses like the AI Prompt Bible, the AI Profit Roadmap, and your personalized AI Toolkit Builder if you attend both days. Also, when you sign up, you'll get access to the 2026 AI Survival Hackbook, a comprehensive compilation of the upcoming AI shifts in 2026. So if you're interested in joining, seats are limited, so use the link in the description to join. Also, you can join the WhatsApp community to stay updated before the big blast. And thanks to Outskill for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to our experiment. So I've hooked it up through an audio cable to my computer. Basically, it's recording sound when I pass the laser over the diode, even though it's completely silent. Now right now I'm using a visible red laser, but technically you could use an IR laser like this. So notice how even though you can't see the light, it's still shining over the photodiode, inducing a voltage, and you can actually hear the sound when I wiggle it over it. But since this is invisible, it makes it very hard to aim, so I'm just going to stick with a visible laser in this case. So let's start by reflecting it off the single pane sheet like a window. I'm just going to talk near it and see if it can pick up my voice. And just to be clear, the audio you're hearing right now is only coming from the photodiode, not my microphone. I've completely removed the audio from this.
Hello, this is James from the Action Lab. Can you hear me? Can you hear me talking? Hello, hello. So the audio for this is coming completely from the laser right now, not from my microphone. So it looks like this does actually work.
It's crazy that vibrations you can't see at all are enough to create a clear signal that turns back into an audible voice. So this is essentially a laser microphone. But the real question is, does this work on an actual modern window? What we built here is basically a cheap version of a spy technology that was used mostly during the Cold War. Back then it worked well because windows were usually single pane. But today most windows have two panes filled with a low pressure inert gas in between them. That makes them great insulators, but it also makes it harder for vibrations to transfer through them. So let's see if this can actually pick up a sound from inside a house just by shining a laser at the window from outside. Okay, so this is my setup. Got the laser reflecting off the window right there, coming back right on my sensor. Not very secret. So you can see now if I block the laser, you can hear it going past. So now let's see if I can hear what's going on in the window there. So this kind of worked. Also, a quick disclaimer. Listening to private conversations without consent is illegal in many places, so don't try this. The first thing I noticed is how hard this is to set up. I'm only about 50 feet away and aiming the laser is still extremely difficult. The only way to do it is to get the reflection roughly where you want it and then move the detector into position without touching the laser. But even then, the laser drifts over time, so you constantly have to adjust it. Now, normal talking didn't really come through, but when I talked loud near the window, it did come through. So this actually did work, and better than I thought it would. I didn't think I'd be able to pick up anything through the window. So is this actually practical for spying? Well, it used to be, but today it's almost never used. Modern windows and the difficulty of setup make it almost impractical. Plus, governments don't really need to do this anymore anyway, because almost everyone already carries a tiny microphone in their pocket that records everything they say, your phone. So it is possible to hear light just by reflecting it off vibrating surfaces like a window near somebody talking. And thanks for watching another episode of the Action Lab. I hope you learned something. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, consider hitting that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.